Hello and welcome. This is a new kind of video for me, so please be patient and like and comment and subscribe if you enjoy. First, I'd like to say thank you for 300 subscribers. Honestly, it's crazy to me. I've only really been posting on and off for about a year now, so having you guys be here is kind of crazy. I did pay $60 on my last Arc Raiders video for promotion, and that's where a lot of you guys came from. So, you came because of the promotion, but you stayed because you wanted to. So, thank you. Other than that, I haven't really been posting much recently. There's been a lot of work. It's been the peak season over at the warehouse, but now that's slowed down, so I can go back to trying to make more content for you guys. Other than that, I'd like to just say, what do you guys think? There's 300 of you now, I hope, maybe, I think. If you're not bots, I really couldn't tell. Um, but this video's new. It's about a book. So if you like it, let me know. If you have any other suggestions of what I could do, I have a couple other videos that aren't gaming per se. I have been thinking about recently, working slowly. So please comment and let me know what you guys think, how you like the video, where you think the direction should be going. Yeah, I think let's get on to the story. Do you like books? I can't say I really I don't know. I have a storied history with books. Growing up, I had reading time at my grandpa's over the summer. I've always loved manga. I have a tattoo of One Piece. I'm reading Gachiakuta, One Piece, and a couple others actively week to week. But when it comes to like books, it's kind of different. I don't have the attention span. Maybe it's my ADHD, maybe I'm lazy, but I have been doing audiobooks the last couple of years, catching up on some things that I think I missed in my high school days. I read Game of Thrones, Hitchhiker's Guide, fuck, the other one, the one, Lord of the Rings. Jesus Christ. Tried Narnia for a bit, didn't really stick, but I haven't really explored anything recently until New Year's. So, luckily this year, 2026, New Year's landed on a long weekend for me. So I was able to get with my friends, and we went to a friend of a friend who's, we're friends, but, he's friends with my friend. His family has a nice little hunting cabin. So we went there, and it's this beautiful rural little patch on the mountain. No Wi-Fi. They don't even have cable. They have DVDs. They got wood stove heat. It's this really nice hunting cabin built for purpose. There's some cell reception, but I was really kind of feeling the power off camping vibes of it all. Especially it snowed all weekend. It was really a nice time. The first day, like the real daylight hours, we went into town for some groceries and to go to a candy store and also to visit a bookstore with these two little bookstore cats. I don't remember their names. I might have pictures. I've been to this cabin before. I've been to this same bookstore. I've pet these same bookstore cats. But last time I went, I didn't get a book. Now, I don't know about you, but it's like talking to someone who's an expert. When I'm in a bookstore with someone who reads books, there's a little level of like fake band. Like I'm wearing a fake band shirt. Like I'm a poser. So last time I didn't get anything. So I'm like, I'm not gonna buy a book and pretend like I read. This year, however, I'm feeling those same insecurities hit when we're hitting this bookstore. I'm like, oh, am I a reader? Am I gonna pretend to be a reader? And then I look over and I see this cover of a book, and I know, don't judge a book by its cover, but if the cover's not interesting, how am I gonna know? How's it gonna stand out? I see this cover on the staff recommended shelf, and I come up to it, and it is Dungeon Crawler Carl. You know this because it's the title of the video. It is the book we are reviewing, but I just wanted to, really get into the story for you all. As soon as I pick it up, I'm looking at it, I'm reading the back. The employee starts speaking up, talking about the book. He's like, oh, I love this book. My friend comes by, or, the the kid who owns the cabin, he comes by. He's my friend. I would call him a friend. And he's like, oh yeah, I've read this whole series. It's amazing. And at that point, I'm like, well, hell, might as well. So I get it. The cashier gave me a deal. He said he'd sell me the hardcover for the same price as the paperback. And I was like, hell, I'm already getting the book. You sold me. Now let's talk about first impressions. So I'm reading the back. I'm listening to how they are portraying it. In my initial, reading, it was given Ready Player One vibes with some Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy tones and a kind of Hunger Games-esque plot. My friend says it's kind of Americanized isekai-like. So, as a kid, I always read manga. In high school, we were given MacBooks from our schools, and I essentially would use the MacBook solely to read manga. And then when I would finish those manga, I would go and I would find the light novel translation, and I would read all of it. I'm sold at this point. I get the book. I loved Ready Player One. I loved Hitchhiker's Guide. Hunger Games is definitely, it's one of the big ones, right? I get the book. We go, and let me tell you, I loved it. I finished the whole book in that weekend. I ordered the next book, but it wouldn't come soon enough for my liking, so I had to get the audiobook. So I switched over to audiobooks. I have finished all 7 currently published. I'm on my second read-through, patiently waiting for May when the official release of the 8th book comes out.
Editing Josh here. So, I actually finished my second read-through, listen through, of the audiobooks, and I couldn't wait, so I got the early access of the 8th book from Matt Dinniman's Patreon, and I have completely demolished it. Whew. Yeah.
So, let me tell you, I am hooked. And as a review, if that hasn't gotten you, maybe, just keep listening. If it hasn't piqued your interest, keep listening. Let's talk about the premise. It's the reason I call it Hitchhiker's Guide-esque is the beginning of the book, and essentially the beginning of the story, starts with a intergalactic syndicate, a collection of intergalactic governments, has basically laid claim to Earth. They came to us when the pyramids were built and talked to some guy who's long dead, claimed Earth then, and they are finally coming to collect. In doing so, they essentially crush every building. Everything with a roof. Buildings, airplanes, boats. If it's a convertible, you're fine. If it's a rowboat, you're fine. If you're outside, you're fine. All of these buildings are crushed. All of these people inside these buildings are crushed. And they create a dungeon. This 18th floor dungeon that survivors are allowed to enter to compete in. And it's this video game style. They get these video game classes and races and these abilities and stat points, and that's where the isekai kind of video game power system kind of comes into play. They're getting loot boxes when they kill things, and all the while it is being live streamed. Every player is being live streamed to the intergalactic audience as a giant survivor-like television show, and it is fantastic. I got Mercedes reading it. She's enjoying it. The vibes are funny but serious. Like, it has these parts of it that are crazy and hilarious and kind of wacky, but it all sits inside this kind of bureaucratic realism with these raw human characters that are real, that feel, and then I feel for. All the while, it's these wild, wacky, epic adventures and craziness and plans that go wrong and large explosions. And it keeps you glued. That's, again, I'm on my second read through, and I can't stop thinking about it. So now I think we should focus on to the spoilers. Now I'm going to try to focus mostly on book 1, but let's talk about the main characters. So our main character is Carl. He's initially kind of set up, at least in my initial description of him, he's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm tall, I'm well built, I go to the gym, yada yada yada. I was in the Coast Guard. I'm a veteran. And and I remember looking up for my book, and I'm like, wow, that's very power fantasy-esque. But as you keep reading, Carl is so much more than that. He is this caring person with this dark past that you really don't you touch on it a little bit in the first book, but you don't get the true depth and details of his experience. And he's a lot more. And you know, I'm talking to my friend about these things and different aspects of books, because stories aren't told about the average event. So I can get past him being this buff veteran who, you know, kind of always knows the best plan. He's very strategic. Even when plans go wrong, he knows how to react. But he's also, you know, a person, and you feel deeply for him. He feels deeply for the consequences of his actions and the things that he does and the people he has to hurt. And he's a really great character that you really learn to love. We start the book with him breaking up with his girlfriend. The story starts a couple days after Christmas, and his girlfriend went on a quote-unquote girls' trip to the Bahamas. But she really went with her ex-boyfriend. She posts this picture on Instagram, sitting on her ex-boyfriend's lap, and Carl breaks up with her. So, you know, we start off the book with his boundary-setting king moment, and the ex-girlfriend leads into our second character, because Carl's not alone in his apartment. He has his ex-girlfriend's prize-winning Persian tortoiseshell cat, Princess Donut, the best girl. She starts off the book as a cat. She jumps out the window right before the apocalypse hits, which causes Carl to run outside in just his undies and a leather jacket, and that's when all hell breaks loose. His apartment building collapses along with every other building in the city of Seattle where he is living. And it is freezing outside in the middle of winter, a couple days after December, or a couple days after Christmas. And he's essentially faced with the choice of freezing to death with him and his cat, or going and entering this dungeon. And he is basically forced to go and enter this dungeon. And that's where the real meat and potatoes starts. That's where we meet these enemies that are kind of... It is a level of depth that you don't expect from a wacky adventure like this, because the NPCs of this dungeon are also sentient. They know what they are. They aren't necessarily bad, but they are put in a position where they, you know, have to kill these guys. That's essentially their job. Some of them don't know what they are. Some of these NPCs, their minds are messed with, and we see this in these goblins that Carl and Donut interact with, and they enter and they meet with the tutorial guild, their tutorial guide, Mordecai, who is a great, fantastic character in his own right. He is essentially a former crawler, a former victim of this reality show, Dungeon Crawler World, and he survived the dungeon. At a certain level, you can take deals, an exit deal. So he delved the dungeon, got deep enough, and took a deal where he had to work in the dungeon as this tutorial guild guide, helping Princess Donut and Carl survive. Now this is where Princess Donut becomes a lot more than just a cat. Because when I started reading, I was always skeptical. I was like, well, I mean, I know my cat wouldn't survive. If I had to run out of a burning building with my cat, I'd be scared she would jump out of my arms, you know? But as with all the dungeon stuff, Carl gets a loot box for being the first crawler to enter with his cat, and he gets a magical pet biscuit, which turns Princess Donut sentient. So she is a fully sentient, fully talking, spell-slanging cat with, at this point in the first book at least, she is the most powerful member of the party, which they quickly name the Princess Posse. The book is so good. The first book talks about the first 2 of 18 floors. The first floor, we meet a couple people. First, we meet, Mordecai. Then we go and we meet, we find a corpse. And we find out that corpse wasn't killed by an NPC or a mob. They were killed by another person. We eventually get some of that. We meet Frank Q and Maggie Mai, who are these player killers who are trying to hunt other players for seemingly no reason as far as we're concerned. Carl and Donut run and they meet a whole nother group of people. This group is an elderly care facility with only like 4 people that are actually like capable, able-bodied adults. They meet these guys, they decide to help them, and all this time we've been getting updates and different things from the system AI and the game itself because there's bugs. There's been like the bathrooms are exploding when more than one person enter, or like different weird bugs, and a lot of them are like one-off jokes that make you laugh. There's a lot of jokes and a lot of funny moments in this book, in this series. But at one point, there are multiple warnings you get throughout the book about using the bathrooms and making sure you're not going to the bathroom in the hallway. And they start off as jokes, and it's all ha-ha funny until they're like, yeah, we're going to summon a creature you will not be able to defeat if you go to the bathroom in the hallway while people are like watching this live, because it's all streamed. And it's still funny until we start helping these elderly folks, and that's when the joke becomes serious. It's so good. It's tension, it's these characters, funny moments becoming serious, serious moments becoming funny. It's raw and real, but also fantastical and whimsical at some points. There are fairies, and at one point we have to blend a fairy up to make, special fairy juice. I can't talk enough about this book. The story is fantastic. The characters, I feel for them. They feel for each other. Even the bad ones. Even the people that are set up as evil and unforgivable have these moments in that I'm like, wow, I feel for this person. And I am so ready for the next book to come out and for me to continue this story. But I wanted to share with everyone because Mercedes isn't reading the book fast enough and I need someone to talk to. So please read the whole series and comment back your thoughts, your opinions, your family recipes. I don't fucking know. Tell me what you think. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please comment, subscribe, like the video. Like the video if you like the video. But I think I have rambled on about this fantastic series long enough. Also, if you've enjoyed the model building, I've been painting a model in the background. That is a model I 3D printed. You can go, I will have the print in the description if you want to print it and paint it yourself. But yeah, have a nice night.